Welcome, Black Hollywood Live fans. On tonight's episode, we talk episode 10 so far. Stay tuned for more. Welcome, Queen Sugar fans. We are excited for a great episode tonight. My name is Shaka Smith. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Shaka Strong.
It's your girl, Anjy Scates. You can find me on Twitter at Anjy_Skates.
Hey guys, it's your girl Stacy. You can check me out on Twitter and Instagram at OneTakeStace.
Well, guys, I don't even really know where to begin, but yeah, we heard a little Beyonce in the background playing Freedom, right?
Freedom.
And I tell you, you can never really know what freedom is until you know your past and your history. And tonight we got some real history about the Bordelon family and the Boudreaux.
We did.
But before we get there, maybe on a lighter note, especially after the recent election results, I want to focus on something. I want to focus on.
You swag that in there, Shaka. You swag that in
I
there.
gotta say, not so happy. But I want to focus on Micah and Kiki because they're happy for me, so I can have a smile when I talk about those two.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about this new budding romance?
I love it.
You sure do.
I do. Like, I'm reminiscing. I didn't have that much game when I was her age.
No, she's got the thing is she's got too much game.
Yeah,
like
she does.
I'm kind of like, okay, girl, would you really talk like that at 15?
Yeah, Kiki's got some adult lines. Like, she's real sure of herself.
She's like,
But I
why do
like
you even want to go to that
that.
school? It's like, you don't pay, but you don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's interesting.
I think she is a very strong young woman, and I think a lot of the times when we have relationships, in my experience, the women are paving the way.
That's hilarious.
I don't know about that, but I do like where I see a little bit of Kiki kind of teaching Micah. It was so subtle that we had watched it twice, where she made him open the door for her, and she just waited. And she was like training him
That's
to
what
be.
I mean.
Yeah.
Paving the way.
I do appreciate those parts. There's just some parts that, like, when they were talking and she was kind of like, I guess when they came to see, she came to the house and that conversation was a little too adult for me. It was,
she's like, I'm gonna go home.
and like, you need to do this and I ain't got time, so you gonna kiss me or not? It's like, wow. I mean, I'm definitely impressed with her confidence and I think she's so perfect for him. I do. Yeah. Especially because, she was like, was your last girlfriend white? That's why you don't know.
Yeah,
Like, it's
exactly.
just like all that extra. I'm like, Keeks, so it's fun. I think it works for now. It's going to be interesting when the mom gets in the mix and see what she thinks and kind of what,
Because I do see Kiki potentially running over Micah.
Yeah, true.
When I was 15, 16, I don't know if I was running over men or eating them, whatever you want to call it. I was a man eater.
Right.
But, I mean, I like it. I'm reminiscing. I'm going down memory lane. And, a lot of the conversation is adult. But when I was 16, I was saying inappropriate stuff to a 16-year-old, too.
Tell
like
them how
it.
it is. Yeah, I do like Kiki, so we'll see where that goes.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting character.
Exactly.
Then we have, I guess, Nova and Chantal. And so we talked a little bit about the imagery of them in the morning. There's so many things at play, but what did you think about just the imagery?
I love what you said.
Yeah.
Yes, I love seeing Reagan Gomez's character naked in the kitchen, or her booty in the kitchen. Like, that was nice, just to see them in their element. Like, because normally you see a lesbian couple that's like hypersexualized, and they're just doing normal thing, making a breakfast, and I love that exchange. Honestly,
The clothes that they were. I mean, it's like. It's everything about the show is so intentional.
Yeah.
You're like, how? Like, these meetings must be hours because everything about her clothing, like the cut tank top that's like a little sexy but also really chill, like, and then the really flimsy. Like,
And sometimes they'll have similar clothes, and you're wondering, are they doing that to show, like, are they sharing clothes, and they're building that relationship,
right. It's really, I mean, it was definitely one of those real moments, and it's really cool to see that. And I totally love what you were saying about, like, it's just their everyday life. So that was cool. If we further into the episode, I guess not so cool because do we know if are they broken up?
Well, so that's what I found interesting. So we have these two women who have this great connection, and they are on the same side, right? Nova wants justice. She's Black Lives Matter. She wants justice. But we see that maybe they have different ways of going about it. And I think it kind of speaks to the tension we have in today's world where people, Black Lives Matter, but they want to distance themselves from that and do their own thing, but they still have the same goals. What do you think about that reflection?
I think the Black Lives Matter group is different from the movement, and I think that what's unifying is ultimately the goal, the end game. But in this moment, I feel like Chantel's character is a little bit of an opportunist. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like she is preying on Nova because of her status or her, her journalism, like the writing in the newspaper, the visibility that she could gain from, coalescing in a relationship with her. So that
Even having the
worried-
meeting there.
Yeah,
I was like, girl.
like you didn't even clear that with
You
her.
didn't
You
have
didn't talk about
permission.
it.
This
But
my
then
house.
again,
Yeah.
like Nova, you get a little bit of your own medicine.
Yeah,
True.
but I think Chantal also thinks though that they're on the same page.
Yeah.
So it's less opportunity, but she's thinking I'm amplifying what Nova's doing. She's only gonna want more of this.
Yeah, and I think that's such an example of that Nova is selfish. Nova is only, I don't want to say she's only thinking about Nova because we do know that she does have a heart for specific people and whatever. But even in a relationship and with Calvin, with Chantal, like she is about her.
Yeah.
So as soon as you start flipping the script, she's like, oh, that's not what I was saying. And,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, you never even said it. It's like, oh, well, they were my thoughts and I don't have to share them with you. Like I feel like Nova comes off very like, I'm the one leading these relationships. So if it's not going the way I want, then, and you can tell when they said goodbye, she was kind of like, dang, I did like you, but.
Yeah, and she said like you're everywhere, like you're just all over the place.
And she
And
was
she
like,
is.
Yeah.
She is. She did. That was a. I said, dang, like we all see it. Like, yeah, she's definitely all over the place. And then she was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's like.
And I guess we'll go deeper into it because so we have this moment where I love actually that they had the conflict over it because I love that saying Black Lives Matter doesn't necessarily mean you're part of the movement, and that if you're part of the movement, it doesn't mean that you can't embrace other parts of the movement too.
course.
But it gets a little bit deeper with them with the cop, and she says, and now we had some perhaps different opinions about her calling her out the date, and she wasn't just calling her out for dating a white guy; she was calling her out for dating a white cop, someone on a racist police force. What did you guys think of that?
I think. Okay, you want to go?
No, you got it.
I think when you said, when you finish the sentence saying on a racist police force, then it puts all these thoughts like, well, maybe this is what, she was with the wrong guy, whatever. But when she said it in the episode, she said, you're with a guy who is white, who's also a cop, who's fighting on a different side kind of thing. I don't think she can really say that about Calvin. She doesn't know Calvin. We don't know what side he's on for real. He's with a black woman, and he did respect her. He did love her. He was trying to defend the few friends that he knew because there was that scene in a couple episodes ago and she was like, yes, I did the story based on the access you gave me, blah, blah, blah. And then he was like, these people are trying to fight for their families. And Nova kind of repeated that. She was like, some people just do jobs that fight for their families and feed their families and whatever. Yes, we wish everybody was that woke and that conscious to actually think, I'm a cop and this is my responsibility and this, that, and third. People don't think like that. So I don't want to give Calvin a full axe. And I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt because I would never want to say, because of your beliefs, you can never date outside of your race. Yeah. That was a conversation my girlfriends and I had this morning. One of my friends who's dating a white guy, she was like, I don't know how to talk to my man today. Genuinely. And I just thought that was so interesting. So, I get what she was coming from. I did understand her argument and your point. And I would love to see what she said. She's holding it in. But I think that it was a little harsh because you're trying to... I don't know. It was a little harsh to me.
I think if you are a cop on a well-known force that, is known in the community to be racist, you're suspect first and foremost. Second of all, you're married. So that's another ding against you and your character. So I wasn't necessarily all in a bunch about what Chantel said about Calvin. Whatever.
I don't even know if we like Calvin, so I guess...
Well, I for me, I thought it was accurate in some respects, but again, he's on this police force, and assuming he joined to do good, and he starts making money, he's got to take care of his his true family, So you can get caught where what you do is not necessarily who you are. You're doing what you thought was one thing, and maybe it became something. Now, do I think she should be dating him if he isn't a vocal opponent to it on the police force? Maybe not. But again, she can't even ask him for that because she's
They're not
just
even in
the
a full
side.
relationship.
Yeah, she's
like,
that you're not.
Yeah.
Like,
No, but I definitely forgot that he's married for a quick second. So you're right. That does go against what we see as this guy who's supposed to be playing a better role, but
And I think it's something she could have asked of him and say, wait, I want you to be a voice on that but not if you're just a side piece.
right.
But
No,
I
you can
also-
still ask.
I
don't
also
know.
like the fact that because I am like super Black Lives Matter movement, whatever, and I know a lot of women who are on my level or have excelled beyond my level who are pro movement, but are involved with white men.
Yeah.
And I like seeing that kind of conversation being
Sure.
played out.
Yeah.
Like,
And I did love that she didn't say it's because he's white. It's because
Yeah.
he's
Right,
white
right.
on a racist.
And
yeah.
right. I think it was the cop thing too.
Yeah.
And she and
First and
that was
foremost.
just such an interesting thing because she's like, who you are is what you do, and she was like, you believe what you believe, and then you put it through what you do.
Yeah.
And I'm
Right.
like, wow, what? And it just made me. I'm like, what do we all do in this world? Like, that's amazing way to look at like who you are and what your
They're so
stamp is gonna
brilliant
be.
in weaving in the
Like I just got a whole life lesson.
because like we're just watching Nova and Chantal, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa.
You're like, I should call and quit this job. I should make sure. I mean, it's just like a lot.
what am I doing with my
You
life?
know, yeah, like where do I stand? That was so, and that's why I said it was a little, because it's a little harsh because you're, to what Nova said, some people are just doing something that's whatever.
Yeah.
You know, you want to say like, yes, this is who I am, and so I became a teacher, blah, blah, and then you know there's other people who was like, I became a teacher because they charge this much and I get summers off.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So I think you can look at it both ways, but I will just say that I forgot that Calvin was married, so for a quick second, totally right. You're right. Okay. Alrighty.
We had another issue, which I guess we all had a little debate about. But so Auntie Vi, Darla, Ralph Angel, they're fighting over Blue. My favorite parts of this entire episode were when Blue walked in the room and everyone just pretended to be happy for a minute. Like, I love kids because they have that ability to make you just smile and pretend like everything's okay. What did you guys think about Auntie Vi's concerns about Ralph Angel and Darla?
She is totally valid in her concerns. I feel Auntie Vi, but I also feel Ralph Angel. I don't know if I trust Darla 100, but I'm leaning towards Ralph Angel's position. Like, he's been there every day since he's been out of jail. And I understand Auntie Vi's position too. Like, I mean, like, both of y'all messed up.
And
like,
this is just recently.
Yeah, and I was here, but she sees her nephew, like, who's like a son to her, and she acquiesces because she knows ultimately that whatever happens, it doesn't matter about the piece of paper. She's going to be there.
Exactly.
So if that's
Exactly.
important to you, Ralph Angel, I'm going to sign it over. And that's okay. Like, I'm glad that she finally did that. She let
So
that
you don't
go.
think that was a mistake?
No,
I don't.
and I know
No.
you do, but listen, like, that was too heartbreaking. Like, just the journey of, the simple fact that he had to ask her about the zoo, it was so much bigger than what we saw in this episode. It was, I am back, I am here, I'm trying to dedicate, I'm not trying to be the useless father in the sense that only visits on holidays. Like, I love that they put that because we know those fathers and we've seen them and we depict them in movies all the time and in shows. And so Ralph Angel's trying to prove that we messed up and we're coming back, and we both are. And this faith he's giving in Darla, I'm cool with it actually. I don't know. Like, I'm very happy. You're saying you think she's gonna.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to give her 2 days. I want to give her 2 days. I'm cool
And
with
I
that.
think that's about all they've really had, though. That's my problem, is that I feel like Ralph Angel and Darla have only really been on the straight and narrow for a very short amount of time. I guess
I mean, when do you give them a chance though? You wait for them to do it for 5 years?
maybe 2, or maybe 2 seasons of the crop and make sure everyone's good. Yeah. Ralph Angel's still
Like,
trying to
they're
figure out.
stable. Like, they don't know.
He's still trying to figure out how to farm right now. The workers haven't shown up, so everything's in a disarray. And for me, Auntie Vi's got a routine, and like she said, when she's thinking about Blue, she's putting Blue first. Ralph Angel might have thoughts about Darla. Maybe he's got thoughts about Miss Velez, I believe it is, in the school.
No,
Who knows?
guys, come on. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. He's being a father first.
And
Like,
shout out to Kofi for that scene, though, because he
killed it.
even though I
Waterworks.
didn't want him to have custody for that second, I was like, oh, he deserves custody.
yeah, I think he does.
I could feel the pain in terms of someone who has been through the system and just getting beat down everywhere he goes, having trouble with the job, and can't even, get his son to the zoo. But I think that kid's best interest is with Vi. If she's got that if he's got to come to her to ask her for permission, I think that's best.
I don't know. I'm with Stacy on this. Like, at what point do you let them
Darla's already taken him to school by herself.
just for 2 days
Just
a week,
2 days a
though?
week,
Mondays
it's
and
okay.
Wednesdays.
Like, and plus, knowing Ralph Angel and Auntie Vi,
they probably
they're following her. I bet you she's being followed. Like, we didn't see that scene. They were like, we gotta cut that out. Doesn't matter. But I'm sure it's there.
And Miss Velez has eyes on them too.
You know, like everyone's on the same team. Every single person. I mean,
Team Blue.
freaking Hollywood. Like everyone's on the team to support Blue and to make sure that
So
he's
you
first.
guys think it's all right that
For now, I mean,
Because she's still there
well,
physically.
I think it's a good segue since you guys are living in your own fantasy world. We can now talk. We got a little word from our sponsor, DraftKings. So how's your fantasy football season going? Are you guys playing?
It is going great because you know what? I'm not playing at all.
I was gonna say it's like, please, like, I don't even know what app that is. Unfortunately, not because we're girls, but because we just really don't care.
Well, your starting running back has already pulled both hamstrings, and your sleeper pick is still sleeping. Like, you guys need to get woke on fantasy football.
Okay,
Well,
definitely.
School me, Shaka.
Yeah.
Well, it's not too late to save your season and win huge cash prizes at DraftKings.com.
Oh wait, people win money off this?
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and download the app.
DraftKings is the destination for 1 week fantasy football. That means no season-long commitments to bust and bench rumors. Never again will injuries have you combing the waiver wire at 2 a.m. A little late to be up. Every week is a brand new season at DraftKings. Just pick your contest, draft your team, and follow the action live. Renew old rivalries with friends and play them every week. Or try 50-50 contest where the top half of all entries win cash.
Oh my god, so many people play it. I'm always
They
like,
do.
how does that work?
And
They
every
do.
week they win a ton of money. So
Okay.
even if your current fantasy team is circling the drain, you can still win huge cash prizes at DraftKings. Don't wait. Start your new season at DraftKings.com now. Use code BSports and play free with your first deposit. That's code BSPORTS to play free for your share of over $100,000 in total
Okay.
prizes. This weekend only at DraftKings.com. Eligibility restrictions may apply. See site for details.
See, I'm readjusting that whole like I'm
Yeah,
not a
that-
sports person.
yeah.
There's obviously things to be doing.
Yeah,
right?
there is,
Especially in the fantasy world.
Exactly.
I'm
And they pay out the top half, which is ridiculous. That's
Nice,
awesome.
I love it.
Thank you, DraftKings. But we got some more Queen Sugar.
Ooh, we sure do.
So now we get to the real deal. We'll get some history, some backstory. I love that Charlie's now kind of going to these meetings and negotiating with a little bit of less naivete than she had been before. Because I hated watching her negotiate and then get taken advantage of, you know? But so she meets with the Boudreaux and we find out something interesting about this family. What do you guys think about the revelations?
I think that, like you said, I'm glad that Charley has done her homework and she seems to be well equipped and in her lane now because, business is her thing. So having the personal family history now to kind of just arm them with, it gives them a little bit more playing field to not kind of just know what really is at stake.
Exactly.
Because it's not just about the land, it's about the history, it's about gravitating from slavery into sharecropping. And I have family from Louisiana that that were sharecroppers. It's crazy to the way that this show parallels reality.
Yes.
It's mind-boggling. But I'm glad that they finally told them why do the elders hold on to
And
so
that's what I'm
much
saying.
truth?
Every time that they reveal something new about the father, I get so sad because we didn't even get enough time to fall in love with him.
Yeah, I loved him.
And it really breaks my heart because I see, where Charley was and where Nova was and Ralph Angel was there, but how distant they were from him, and just to find out how hard he's been working, and that really broke my heart. And just, I don't know. So I'm so glad that they are up on the news and they know what's going on, and that when they came out with this really dominance, looking outside and seeing what they own, that was the beginning of what I hope is an amazing fight, because
And I think
know.
context is so important to know
what the hell's going on?
exactly because
Yes.
they probably would have taken that $4 million offer if they had no context. It seemed like a good offer,
Why
Yes.
else wouldn't you?
and
Yeah.
she just had to sit and think, wait, why is this happening now?
Right.
Why didn't they tell me these certain things?
Let's talk about the importance of Black businesses, though.
Yeah.
In this world, we often have these great products or these great ideas, and we just sell them, not really understanding the value of having
what we
and
just
owning and
did.
operating a successful Black business.
Yeah.
And the fact that they are saying, okay, look, we got the history now, we have the assets, we have the land, we're going to fight. That is everything.
And we're
It's
not
time
taking
to-
what you're giving us. We're not going to take your 60-40. We're not going to,
You can keep that.
we can already see it's going to be a problem next episode. So I'm excited to have them fight it out, siblings against whoever the hell, because they are just and just, do you see the trickery that went into that conversation to get the $4 million? Of course,
Yeah.
they were never going to disclose that information. It's just kind of like, Dang.
Like on the Solange album, I don't know if y'all listened to that, but like Master P says, like he was in a deal with the record label, and they were offering him $1 million or $4 million, whatever, and he's like, well, if this white man is offering me this much, I must be worth at least $40 million.
Exactly.
Like
you have to think if you're giving me this cut, there's some more money somewhere around.
They're not just offering me the bottom cut.
Yeah.
Okay.
We gotta think, and we have to believe in ourselves, and we really have to believe that we are worth so much more than people are saying.
$4 million.
A little bit. It's almost like talking about post-election.
Yeah, I had a moment. I was trying to figure out my words in a kind and
there are so many
beautiful
moments
way.
I was like, this was a perfect episode for this week. Thank you, Ava DuVernay, because that's perfect.
So insane.
But I like that you guys are on Charlie's team, because earlier in the episode you guys were
Hell
not on
no.
Charlie's team.
She played.
Hell no.
And we saw we saw a little
gosh,
bit of that class, and then maybe you guys saw some race issues there with Charlie and Auntie Vi.
So what I said, and I would love to discuss this because it is an interesting thing.
Yeah.
You know, Charlie comes off as, and we've seen her character before, the light skin, really beautiful hair, perfect husband, perfect kid, really rich, LA or whatever that is.
Yeah.
We've seen that character. And to have her play that character so well, and then it kind of bounce back and forth. One day she's like, ugh, and the other day she's like, we think we need privilege, and we need this, and we need that. It's just, it kind of hits me the wrong way, because I'm thinking, could we ever see Nova talking like this? Personally, like, do you guys see the darker skin, dreads, type of queen talking the same way that Charlie talks? Or does it make sense that Charlie talks like that because of this color of her skin, the way she comes across, the way she looks? That colorism thing where it's like that light skin, dark skin mentality in a sense. So I just put that out there, wanted to see your thoughts.
I don't necessarily agree with that, but what do you think?
I think that colorism has definitely played a part in the relationship between Charlie and Nova from jump, and I feel like we called it out on like some of the earlier episodes, and the fact that she kind of just sneered down on Auntie Vi, who I think is of darker skin than Charlie. It kind of just plays into that whole scenario. And again, I'm grateful that we have all this range of blackness on camera to kind of just show the diversity that we are not one monolithic kind of people. Like there is so much more. Like we have so much more to offer. And I like that we have the light-skinned sisters represented. I like that we have the dark-skinned, holistic, earthy sisters. Like that range is important.
Yeah.
It is, but don't.
But I don't know if I just didn't see the color thing. And the reason I didn't see it, because it was rooted in privilege. She was saying, I know what privileged kids get. The white people have been handing down that privilege to their kids, and I'd like to hand this down to Micah, so that. And I don't think she meant to. She didn't mean to like attack Vi personally, but Vi was like, I don't even make that much, and she's like, I want him to not say that statement.
Yeah.
And so I didn't see it as a class thing, but as I have access to something that most black people don't have, and I have to use it to make sure I push him in that direction.
And that's the thing. Like, there's this other question where it's like, are you supposed to feel bad because you're richer or because you have more access? Absolutely not. Like, I think we, as black people, I wouldn't say we're the only ones, but we carry that weight. And you don't see no white people walking around like, oh, I guess I should feel bad. Like, nobody's walking around like that with that conversation. So I definitely don't want to say she doesn't deserve it, but I just thought it was very interesting the character she plays, and then the kind of things that she would say. I'm like, is this does that make sense?
Like honestly, for me, like I'm grateful for my parents who put me and all my sisters through private school. Like we had the option of doing public school in the neighborhood that we grew up in, but like no, that wasn't good enough. And I'm very grateful for the education that they afforded to us. So I definitely get where Charlie is coming from. If you have the means to educate your children, do that.
Yeah, and not even educate the children. We just know that from this school, they're going to go to a better college. And from that better college, they're going to go to...
They have more opportunity.
I'm not... Of course, those things are real, but again... Well, I don't know. I guess I just didn't want... There are people who are going to go to the Saint whatever high school and be just as bomb, if not bomber, than Micah. So it's like, she made it sound like money buys this better thing. And in some cases, you're right, it definitely does. But it's like... Those who don't have it also work,
But they have to work a lot harder, and that's unfortunate.
Money's the root of all.
Yeah, they do. Unless you have it.
And then it's like super awesome.
Unless you have it.
Real talk. It's so weird because like I'm saying all this stuff, but I have a very interesting type of family who, you know, my parents are Nigerian. They came here for that better world, and they made sure to put us in very, what some of my friends would say, privileged situations.
Yeah.
But because they were also so like, this is what's happening, we need you to know that there are other sides and other people who are not going to experience it like you are, and you're never going to think you're better than them or they're better than you or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just try to be conscious about that, and like that's why I was kind of looking at her like.
See, I think Micah's getting that lesson from Kiki. I think
Right.
Kiki's keeping him in
I
check.
want it from Charley. I want Charley to
Keep
start
him
doing, 'cause
grounded.
Yeah, I need Charley to start dropping those little hints too. But
Well, we did have a little good news with Vi, and it looks like, Vi went in, so she was inspired by that
the
moment,
manager.
right? She was
Yeah.
inspired by it, because sometimes you look at yourself, you say, wait a minute, I could be doing better.
Right, and she bossed up.
Yeah, I like that scene. What did you guys think about that?
heck yeah, it was beautiful, and it played a part into what Nova said like last week, where she was like, "You deserve better. Like you
Yeah.
deserve good things." And I think she's finally seeing that. So it's really awesome that you know, she made me want to make a few calls.
Because, yeah, we didn't talk about it, but there was that one sad scene where her friends were there, remember, a couple episodes ago.
And when like the AKA sister, line sister, and then they were all talking about their accomplishments, and she's just like, "Oh, I'm just the waitress." But we all knew that Vi is not just the waitress.
Exactly.
Like she's the matriarch of the family, and even though she was the waitress, we all knew that she was running that joint.
Yeah, exactly.
Now she is officially running that joint.
Yep.
So you better get it.
Yeah,
Vi.
got her salary and everything.
Okay, and her benefits.
And,
Come on, I don't
and
even-
maybe her guy back.
I'm
Yeah,
rooting
I
for
think so.
Hollywood.
I think
Yeah.
it's happening.
I think he's a good guy, and I think it's unfortunate that he was in a situation where he felt like he had to lie to Vi, because I felt like if he was forthright and forthcoming from jump, it would be a different situation.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's trying to make amends. He's getting a divorce first of
Yeah.
all.
I mean,
And that was a...
Hollywood is just in her face.
Yeah.
Like, it's,
Oh, he's been persistent.
he's
We do know
she'll
that.
come up from a coffee and it's we're right here like that. I love it. I do love it. I think it's important to show that a guy is like, I'm coming for you. I'm
He
not
got the
trying to
African
leave.
violets, and
Yes.
she was like, take him back to Africa.
Right. Like,
I love that
that
line.
was such a good line. So I do think it's, again, like I think there's so many dynamics about the men in this show. Like we have a Micah, we have a Ralph Angel, we have a Hollywood, we have a Remy. Like all these different personalities of guys.
And
Like, we're not all
Davis.
one.
Yeah.
You see, I didn't mention him, but anyway, I will throw him in the mix. We just have all these different guys and their different tonalities and their characters, and it's wonderful because it just shows how diverse we are. But I will say that I think at first I thought Hollywood was doing the most a little bit, like give her space. I mean, I did say that I wanted Auntie Vi to forgive him.
Yeah.
But like we need to allow her to forgive him.
But I think what they were showing you was like the relentless effort it needed for her to go, okay,
fine. I guess
I'll
he is
give you a
cool.
little cup of coffee.
Yeah.
You better fight for that,
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Right.
And one thing I did love that he said, which to me was almost like the lesson in terms of the entire series, is for at least men and women. He said, just show them that you're all in.
Yeah.
And I just love that line. They just need to feel and see that you're all in.
That is so true. Like, my favorite thing to tell guys, like, it's a Lena Horne song. If you're going to come on, you better come on strong. Like, don't half-ass it.
Yeah, like you
Right.
can have your issues, you can have your ex-wife and this and this and the medical thing, but show me that you're all in.
Yeah.
That's it.
Real
And so-
talk. Show me that you're all in, people.
Well, on that
Love
level,
it.
let's
Love
get
it,
to
love
some
it.
predictions.
Predictions.
Oh my God, I miss Kelly because she gets to go first all the time. But predictions. I think that Kiki is definitely going to get Micah into some trouble.
Definitely.
For sure. I think we're going to see some kind of divide maybe between the siblings off of this Boudreaux Landry land thing. And Auntie Vi is getting back with Hollywood.
That much is clear.
Oh yeah, and Darla's gonna mess up. She's gonna mess up, and Auntie Vi's gonna have to come at Ralph Angel like, "Look, I told you so," and
I
she
don't
gonna
like
have
that.
to redo the papers.
No, the papers are to Ralph Angel.
That's what
It doesn't have anything to do with Darla.
That
Gonna
scares
redo
me.
it.
That's part of my prediction. That scares me.
Oh, you guys, we gotta let the girl breathe. Like, I just want to give her a chance. I mean, I'm not saying that I fully trust Darla, but I guess she has to mess up. I don't know. The way it's written. Okay, I'm gonna pause on them because that just makes me so sad. I'm thinking, I'm assuming Davis is to come back soon. We dropped his name a couple times this episode, so I'm like, I don't know what he's coming back for, but he's coming back. I also think that there's something going on with the teacher Ralph Angel that maybe we can start looking into for real this time. I love how beautiful and just like sweet she is. Like, you're so adorable. So I'm hoping there's some stuff there. Darla can get a little jealous. I don't know. Remy was missing this episode. Oh, what the heck? So I'm hoping next week, maybe he's involved with helping them fight the Landrys and all that. I'm sure she's gonna go to him for a lot of advice and stuff. Maybe Davis comes back thinking he still has a say.
Yeah.
You know, that little triangle should probably pop off sooner than later.
Huh. Well, I'm thinking. I've been calling this for weeks. You know, Davis and Charley reunion. I think they're. I've been calling for. Been calling it for weeks. They're drawing it out on me. I'm like, come on, just make it happen so I can be right already. But yeah, I think they'll definitely get back together at some point. I don't know if it'll be short lived or if it's just one night of memories, but whatever.
Hell no. I wouldn't even look at him the same.
You just have to remember the kid. 20 years.
The kid's grown now.
It's an unbreakable bond.
I don't know. And then we have, I think we're going to see something, well, Darla and Blue, I think there will be something that, there'll be a mess up there. And I'm actually having a little bit more faith in Darla since Bianca was here, because I'm like, some people do overcome drug addiction and really do make it. But there are a couple of looks and just the way it feels to me, Auntie Vi's,
like
every time she's like, all right, I'm going to try to trust you, Ralph Angel, she has her own fear in her mind. You saw when she hugged him and the way she looked? It was like she knows better.
Yeah.
But she's trying to give this man a chance.
Yeah.
And so I think we're going to see, I just hope Blue isn't hurt in any meaningful way, significant way, but I think he might be. And then I think we're going to see, I want to say like a murder mystery or some sort of attack with the Bordelons and the Boudreaux.
Yeah.
Just the way he was talking to her, at least in the preview, it just sounded so much more like this could escalate into physical violence.
Right.
So we'll see, but
I
that's all I
can't
got.
wait to see. I'm excited.
Yeah, and we gotta remind the viewers, this is Black Hollywood Live.
Yeah.
We got a little something right there.
Ignore this for a second.
But yeah, what a great episode. We're gonna have a surprise for you guys next week, so we're so happy you tuned in. My name is Shaka Smith. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Shaka Strong.
I am Anjy Scates. You can find me on Twitter at Anjy_Skates and on Instagram at big_Anj.
You guys can check me out on Twitter and Instagram at OneTakeStace, as well as on StacyAg.com.
And we love to see your comments and on Twitter, YouTube. So just hit us up, let us know what you guys are thinking, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.